Okay, if you're not.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Oh.
Let's go to her. She's the one and only Sara Hodges. What's up, Sara?
What's going on, guys? Can you hear me okay? I'm in the Starbucks. I left the gym to come and do this.
Wait, were you working out like in the middle of your workout?
Well, it's a long story, but I definitely was working out, and I have an appointment to get some Botox, and so I left early to come and do this because the girl could only take me today at 12:30, and I was like, I'm gonna make it all happen. Like, I don't care.
All right, we got to talk about Kings in a second, but let's talk Botox for a second.
Okay.
Here's my thing with Botox, dude. Like taking a shot to the face, like it's in. Where did you get it? In your forehead?
So it just depends where like your problem areas are. So I have like hooded eyes a little bit. So this kind of lays over. So you can't get too much in the forehead because then it makes it droop even more, right? So the only area I can really do it in is like up here. And then I do it here to kind of give the effect of like lifting the eyes back. Really, I probably just need like an eye lift, but you know, we'll get to that later in life.
No. This is hilarious. What, Morgan? Because
No, I'm laughing because I keep seeing this commercial on TV, and it's this guy that was like, yeah, I've been contemplating cosmetic Botox for years, and it's just becoming more and more normalized, Deuce. And
it should be. I don't judge it. I'm just saying I could never do the needle. I don't like needles.
My point is, if you want to be TV fresh, you're gonna have to one day go to the Botox land.
I'm gonna age naturally. I'm gonna be wrinkled on TV.
Honestly, I feel like guys don't have the pressure that us girls have. Like, and it's not even just saying the pressure. It's I want to look good, right? So like, if you felt that way about yourself, then probably you would get it, right? But maybe you're okay with, having a few wrinkles here and there. Sara Hodges, personally, not.
That's very interesting you bring that up because we talked about this with Morgan before. The pressures of being a female broadcaster. You guys have such different expectations, like societal expectations that you have to worry about, especially in sports. That like these are things that men just don't ever think about. Like for me, it's like, I just got to go get a haircut today.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous that you guys have to go through what you go through.
But Sara, we do some of it too because we enjoy some of it, I think. But I mean, there's times where I feel like, okay, I feel spread thin because I have to figure out an outfit, a hair, makeup, all these things that usually if you're at a higher level, on a national level, you have stylists, hairstylists, makeup artists doing it for you. But for the most part, do you have fun doing some of that stuff?
I would say so. Yeah, like I enjoy looking good. Like I'll admit that. And when I watch myself on TV, if I don't look good, I'm criticizing myself probably more than everybody else is criticizing me. And look, here's the thing. I would love to like have a makeup artist or somebody be like, okay, Sara, this is how you should do your makeup. Like it looks good, but like add a little bit more to this, add a little bit more to that. Instead, I have to get the trolls on Twitter to tell me like what I need to do better at. So,
oh my God. No one can tell me what. I don't give a damn what anyone. Oh, you have to do this to your makeup or this to your outfit. Your outfit's weird. Screw you.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think I look fine.
By the way, in the chat, Scooter says Morgan and Sara look like they could be sisters. Yeah, breaking news. They get that all the time. It's pretty crazy.
I have people at me when she's working like post game and in halftime stuff. Like at me, like it's me the one doing it. I'm like, I wish that was me. It's not me, but I'm like, should I repost it and pretend that I'm Morgan? Like,
oh my God,
why not? We get it a lot.
We're hanging out with Sara Hodges, who's at a Starbucks chilling, talking to us. We appreciate her doing this. We want to talk some Kings, man. This year, you've been here the last few years. You've seen the roller coaster ride, a lot of lows. How surprised are you about what the Kings have been able to do this year?
To be honest, I'm pretty surprised. I am. Not even so much them making the playoffs. Like, obviously that surprised me, but like, I feel like this team can make it out of the first round. Like, I'm surprised that this team is as good as they are. I really am. I feel like they're one of the best teams in the West. If you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, which, we kind of did do like predictions, hey, will the Kings make the playoffs? And you're just so used to being like, no. I was like, I mean, never say never, right? But like, I don't know. we'll see what Mike Brown can get together. We'll see how these players can play together. We'll see how Domas looks in a full season, right? And I mean, oh my goodness, I've been enjoying them so much.
Sarah, I mean, we've seen some really bad basketball, and then now we're seeing something that is so special, so magical. What's been the most magical thing about this season? Is it a player? Is it a coach? What is it to you?
I think the most magical is that everybody's getting a piece of the pie. And you guys have probably heard me say this before, but just how helpful the bench is. Also De'Aaron Fox, but we'll get to that. Domas too. Like, it's just, there's just so many things that I could talk about. But like, basketball is a team sport. And when so many players touch the ball throughout a game, we were talking with Coach Katz just how there's like energy in basketball, right? There's like energy in the ball. So when everybody's getting their hands on the ball, throughout the game, throughout, a single play, it's so important that every player feels that energy. And and I'm wondering, and I'm thinking that's probably, Steve Kerr preaches that over at Golden State. And I'm sure Mike Brown, learned a little bit about that and has brought it over here to Sacramento, because you're seeing it. Like, everybody's getting a piece of the pie. And when each player is finding success, and, you got a guy like TD who's going off, and when he feels that confidence, it makes you want to play harder. It makes you feel like you're making a difference, right? It makes you want to win. If Jake was getting all the good reads and doing a really good job and getting all the good highlights, and I was getting, the so-so highlights games, or, he was giving me sort of the breads and the crumbs, I'm not going to be as good as I can be, right? I'm going to feel like, well, do I really belong? Everybody feels like they belong and they have a purpose on this team. And that's the key to success, in my opinion.
I know you actually sat down with Mike Brown a few weeks back, and it was a great interview. Number one, I love your approach. I know I've talked to you about this off air. I just dig your vibe on there, man. You're unique. You're super talented, but your conversation with him was really cool. Why do you think he's been able to connect with this group so much in his first year as head coach?
Coach, he's been a head coach before, but he spent a lot of years being an assistant coach. And when you're in you guys know this, a lot of NBA players, they don't love their head coach. And so he served as such a buffer over the years, between coach and players. And I do think that in that time of him serving as that buffer has kind of let him know and understand what these players, what they want, what they need, how to deal with them. Because a lot of head coaches, they forget that, but because he has served as an assistant and it has been such a great buffer over the years, I think that has allowed him to understand his players a little bit better. And it's given him the advantage now as a head coach.
Sarah, another guy that you've obviously have seen over the years closely is De'Aaron Fox. And I think there's so many different things we can point out about his game that has taken a leap. But for you, what has been the biggest change in his game from the seasons you've seen him to right now into his sixth season?
I would say there's a few things. One, I would just say confidence, right? But that came with him obviously making shots. I think that we all for so long were like, oh, De'Aaron Fox, he has to figure out his shot. He has to figure out, mainly like his long range shooting. But I think him just really coming to his own of like knowing this is my skill set. How do I build off of it instead of listening to the outsiders of what they say I need to do, but just really getting better at what I'm already really, really good at. He's speedy. He's shifty. Those little 15-footers. I mean, just him able to create that space defensively. I mean, he's just way better defensively, which is just all built this confidence. Let's talk about leadership, right? Maybe not the best vocal leader, but this year, he's just become more of a leader by being as clutch as he has been. I think that guys are rallying around him, and just mainly the confidence, right? When you have confidence is key, especially in basketball. He's aggressive. Being aggressive is key in basketball. Just all of those things. And I think Coach Brown has a lot to do with it too. When you have a coach who has confidence in you and you're like, you could be the best in the world. You are it. I mean, that does so much for a player. Malik Monk having his best friend here. I mean, there's just so many different variables that, have taken a part in his success this season. But I think that he believes that he's as good as he is now. And honestly, we were all waiting, right, for this De'Aaron Fox to show up. And he has. And it's so refreshing to see, so much fun to watch. And now, like, I'm with him, like, when he's like, I'm that nice. I'm like, you're that nice. You are that nice. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, he believes he's that nice. And, like, confidence is key in anything, but especially in basketball.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other night. Like, usually when you look at a team, you could point to like one reason why everything changed, right? Like, oh, it's this player did this. But with the Kings, it's like, dude, they hired the right coach. The front office made the right moves. Sabonis, I mean, we haven't really talked about Sabonis yet because Fox has been awesome, but none of this works if you don't have Sabonis either. And it's just been the perfect recipe. What Sabonis has meant for this team, it's insane what the narrative was after the trade and to see where Sabonis and the Kings are at now.
Oh my gosh. They keep comparing like, oh, the Pacers, the best trade. Like by far, this was the best trade in the Kings' favor. I mean, the Kings getting Sabonis, first of all, he adds like veteran experience, which I feel like the Kings have sort of been missing over the years. Not to mention, like, you guys, this guy, he's one of the best players in the league. Like, we were talking about this on the show last night. Like, what's the gap between him and Jokic right now? Like, Jokic is the best player in the center in the NBA, right? We talk about him all the time, but really, like, there's not that big of a gap between him and Domas.
Yeah, I mean, especially this year, I feel like, and I love Jokic. Embiid's had a hell of a year too, but Sabonis is, clearly in the top three as center in the NBA. And this year, Sabonis is putting up monster numbers, but his effort, his defensive engagement, he's not going to be known as like a lockdown guy just because he has some limitations, but he plays hard all the time. You can't say that about Jokic. Like, Jokic is taking some plays off defensively. Yep. He's still great. He makes players better, but there's no doubt Sabonis is playing hard. He plays hard all the time.
Also, something that I really love about Sabonis is he's so unselfish. Like, he's going to look for the pass before he's going to look for a shot. And and he spreads the love. I think that a lot of players have fed off of that too, because he's a pass first guy. And that is so important when you have unselfish players like that on your team, when they care about, their teammate getting the bucket and getting the stats over themselves. You see what happens. He ends up getting the stat naturally. He ends up getting the triple-double naturally because he's just a sharing type of guy. And I love that about him.
This style of basketball, I mean, and not only obviously what Mike Brown has done with it, but you're exactly right. What Sabonis has brought to this team on the floor. I mean, we've already talked about De'Aaron. It's just all so fun. Something that we haven't seen in quite some time. So are you into predictions? Are you like down to be like, oh, I think the Kings will go this far?
I mean, what I want to see them do is, I think they can go, honestly, I think the Kings can go as far as they want to go, right? I really do. But I see them definitely getting out of the first round. It just depends how the rest of the league looks when the playoffs start, right? Like, it's hard to really say because you have injuries in the West right now. Am I super fearful of any specific team? No, because it's the best of seven. And if it's an NCAA tournament style, elimination style tournament, that's different. But it's the best of seven, and any team, East besides maybe the Bucks, any team is going to struggle in seven with this team. Any team's going to.
And the Kings have proven they can win on the road. Mm-hmm. They have the best road record in the West. You can't deny that, man.
There's so many topics. There's just so many.
Yeah, it's been such a fun year. We are up against it, Sarah, but seriously, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Amazing.
We're gonna do this again, and like I've told you, you are so freaking talented. We love your work. Everyone needs to follow her on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yes.
Sarah Talks Sports, right? Sarah Talks Sports.
Yeah, Sarah Talks Sports.
On IG and on Twitter, and she's getting Botox done today, so wish her well.
So maybe I'll look like this the next time, you guys.
Shut up,
Girl,
dude.
you
are
always
gorgeous.
look
Stop it.
amazing.
I love you guys so much, and you guys are way more talented than me.
Okay.
I love you.
No, we're not. You're more
Yes,
talented.
you are.
You're
You're
more
more
talented.
talented.
Hang
Bye,
up,
bye,
hang up,
bye.
hang
Hang up on her. You're more
up.
talented. All
Bye,
right.
Sarah.
That's Sara
Bye. Love
Hodges
you
from
guys.
CBS 13. She is awesome. Appreciate her making time for us to hop on.
I love exactly what you said, though, even about her style.